Hi friends, it's Renee Bradshaw. Don't mind my dog making a little bit of noise in here right now. She got really hyper when I started doing this reading, even though it's kind of nap time. But I'm going to be doing a past life reading today, and you notice I've drawn some cards already, which is a little bit different than my normal style. Also, real quick, forgive the horrible nail polish issue. It doesn't really do a lot for the visualization of this reading, but it's Tuesday here, which is kind of like my Mondays, which means I'm kind of a mess. So, physically a mess. Spiritually, I have a really good spiritual weekend and a good spiritual morning, and then physically I just can't get it together. But, so this reading was super cool. This is really exciting for me. I have a client who actually already has a lot of knowledge about their past lives. And they had one past life in particular that they wanted to get some more information on, about a meeting between her and her potential lover. We'll figure that out here in a minute, but a lover from that lifetime who's actually been with her over a few lifetimes. This is I've done my own past life work where I've tapped back into the same past life over and over, but I haven't had anyone yet come to me who had knowledge of their past life. So this was really exciting for me to have a direction to go instead of just pulling into a random past life that I felt drawn to. I got to really explore something she was drawn to. So a few things were a little bit different for this one. First of all, to make sure I did tap into the correct past life, I do have a card in my deck here. I shuffled it back in as I shuffled and got these other cards out, but I have the Moon card. The Moon card is my personal message, basically, from the spirit guides. And when I am searching or wondering if I'm tapped in, wondering if things are going right, I'll shuffle once, cut the deck randomly somewhere throughout, and if the Moon card appears, I know I'm on the right path. So I did that this morning. I went and I shuffled the deck. I shuffled it a few times, and then I talked to my guides and I said, hey, are we good? Are we tapped into this life? Can I tell her that we're going into this life and we're gonna see what's going on? And I split the deck and I saw my Moon card, and right away that to me is we're good to go. So then I shuffled my regular amount of times that I shuffle, and I was drawn to do a different kind of reading, which this is something I've never done before. Not a past life reading. I've done a lot of those, but this is the style that I've done here right now. I've never done this before. I've never been directed to do this before, but I felt instantly compelled to do this, which told me that it was something from the guides telling me. And again, when I split the deck to shuffle, I just was like, well, I'm feeling this kind of pull. Is this what I need to do? And I split the deck again to shuffle, and there was my Moon card. So it was like, good to go. So the awesome thing about my client and her past life is she knew the date of birth and the date of death. And as most of you know, we have there are major arcana cards that are associated with each of the zodiac signs. So I thumbed through the deck and I found both of their major arcana cards from that past life. Hers was the Devil card, as a Capricorn. Hold on, I have my zodiac list. I'm still working on keeping all my zodiac names correct. But, so that is the Capricorn. And then he was a Libra in the past life, and I found the Justice card because that is the card for a Libra. Then I was also drawn to pull the two cards that were next to the one before and one after, to get a little insight, background into their growing up, or their where they were in their lives before they met. And then I'm going to repeat the process. I'll fast forward through my shuffle because that's boring for everyone except for me, since I love shuffling, but everyone else is like, I don't want to watch this. But we'll shuffle, We'll get some background on the meeting, and then we'll shuffle again. And we'll get some background on the, I don't know if you can hear that helicopter. We're really close to a guard base, but and the helicopters are constant around here. So we'll get a little bit of that meeting. We'll see if we can tap into a little bit of joy from that relationship. She wants to know if there was a physical sexual connection between the two of them. So we'll find that out, and then I do want to find out too what the split was. So since normally, we would go super in depth into each card and kind of feel the story, I feel like the guides were directing me to do it this way to kind of get a two-part story. So we have the Devil card, which is her in this past life. And then we had the cards that were surrounding it were the Two of Cups and the High Priestess. What's kind of neat here is these are both the number 2. Drawing that together, the 2. So the 2s are all about a reunion or balance. I'm feeling that this was like a reunion, and I'm feeling drawn to the High Priestess here. That she was actually, I feel like in this past life you had a strong spiritual connection to. You didn't have a contemporary type modern connection, but a really good solid basis like you do in this lifetime. So I'm drawn to that. I'm drawn to that being family, friends around you, people that knew more, could see back in the past. And I feel because of this knowledge you had, you knew something was coming. You knew that reunion, that wonderful reunion was coming, and you were searching for it. I did a quick research just to check on the dates. Not that I didn't trust you, but I did just want to double check the dates especially before I pulled like these cards earlier. And I did see that she was married in a previous life, not to this person, but I feel that there was a confusion for her. For you, I shouldn't say her, because even though it was another physical body, it was still you. So we'll say you. I feel like this was a confusion for you when you met this other person, because there was still some of that. You were drawn, you were pulled in. This was possibly someone you had. I feel like this is someone that you married was someone that you did have past life connection with. Not a deep connection, not a soulmate, twin soul or twin flame, not a strong connection, but just someone like maybe who was a dear friend or a family member or something in the past. And that's why when you knew this reunion was coming, you met them, and I feel like that's how that marriage ended up happening. Right now I'm almost feeling as though you may have met him while you were married, or while you were engaged or dating your future spouse. I hear my dogs chewing on something. No, they're just chewing on a bone. They're allowed to do that. So now we'll go into him, and I didn't do much more on him rather than just look at his dates for death and for birth and death. And I'm seeing here, I guess I don't need his card there, but so I feel like early on he escaped something, turned his back and left something behind him. Possibly his family here, or maybe he left with additional family members and left some behind. I'm definitely feeling that connection here to just leaving. I also feel like you sent me the picture of him. I'm not familiar with who he is, but he had very striking good looks, obviously. So I feel like and at the time, he was white male, probably from a decent background, and I feel like that really opened a lot of doors for him, and he had a lot of options. um, I feel like he was able to kind of just go wherever the heck he wanted. So he wasn't searching down this path that you were on. He wasn't going in a direction with his eyes open looking for anything. I don't feel like he really had a strong not social, spiritual background, spiritual connection. I know you said you know him in this lifetime. I don't know if he has one now either. I don't feel like he does. I kind of feel like you're the one in these past lives that carries the spiritual connection to your past. I feel like you're the one that leads the relationship. You're the one that leads the connection because you're the one who has more of the memory. And for him, I feel like it's just he's making choices based on just a current lifetime process. He's not, he's left. I see the 6 and then directly later the 7. So I feel he's left something and then he's going right towards something else. So I don't really feel like he's with himself. Obviously we all carry those lessons from our past lives, but I feel like you have a really conscious understanding of some of these lessons while he just lives this life for the life it is, if that makes sense. But that's definitely the feeling I'm getting leading up into the connection you guys had. So we're gonna go ahead and just kind of cut the deck and put these cards back in there. I guess I didn't have to do that with all the cards, just your just Justice and the Devil. But okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle my number of times, and then we'll slow the camera. Oh, hello, we're greeted again. So we'll slow the camera down, and then we'll get everything together. There's the Devil. So I swear the Devil was somewhere in the middle, and then I split it there. So maybe the Moon was still on the bottom, but we're gonna go ahead and shuffle. Oh, and the Moon card landed all the way back on the bottom again. So that's pretty exciting for me. Spirit guides in the house telling us we're doing the right work today. So we've got, again, I'm seeing the Devil with a really strong spiritual magical card here. So we'll look at that in a minute. I'm going to search for our Justice card, which I feel like is at the other side of the deck right now, like almost towards, nope, here we go. Here we go. All right, this is cool. I'm feeling it already. Are you feeling it? Sorry, I get really excited. I think I told you that during the spirit guide reading. Excitement. So right here, so I just felt like not crushed, but too many bodies, too many people around, too many people watching. There's food, there's so much food, there's laughter. Everyone's having fun, but there's just too many people around, and I don't know if this is you or if this is him. No, maybe it's both of you. It's like that classic meet cute, and maybe you guys started this genre of meet cute, but I just feel you both overwhelmed. There's just too many people there, and I do feel I know you said you felt like you met in India. I do feel like this was your home, your family's home, your spouse's home, something, and there's a large gathering. There's a large screen on the wall. There's like a silver, there's a silver tray, and there's little round circles of white. It almost reminds me of what sushi looks like, that the sushi you get, It's like rolled with the rice around it, but it's not that. It's something else. So that's on the silver trays. And there's all these people, and there's the film. And you don't like the film. It's you, and you don't like the film. And there's lots of laughter, and sometimes you feel included in the laughter, and sometimes you feel like you're standing on the outside. And you feel like no one understands you. It's not a constant thing. I don't feel depression. I feel at this gathering, no one understands you. Or perhaps you've been mocked in front of people, and they think that you're laughing in jest, laughing in good fun, but you're not. And I kind of see you retreating, and this is you retreating, and this is him in this situation, the hermit. I've seen a lot of major universal stories, lessons. These major arcana cards, they're always like a bigger universal connection or lesson. So I feel like that's not his norm. He's not a hermit. He's not someone who craves alone time. I feel like he's good in the crowd. I feel like he likes the attention. You have a lot of creative types that are in the limelight but still want to be alone. I don't feel like that's him. Not until he sees you, and then he's just drawn. It's like that universal lesson, that connection, that thing just pulls him out, pulls him away from the crowd, and he doesn't know why, but suddenly he doesn't want to be in that crowd with that group of people. It's not necessarily you. He hasn't really noticed you. He heard the laughter. He heard you, he saw you get a little upset. He recognized that in you, but it wasn't enough to draw him away at that time. But there was just something that kept pulling in the back of his mind, telling him to go outside, get some fresh air, stand by the pool. Maybe it's not a pool, it's just water. He's standing by the water. He needs a pool or a pond. But he's standing there, and he sees you. And he makes a joke at the expense of those still in the party, and you laugh. And I feel like you guys talk for a little bit, and then others come out, and it's no longer just the two of you, but it almost is. It's like, it feels like it's just the two of you. Like there's a crowd, not a large crowd, not like it's in the house. Outside, the crowd's smaller. 10 people maybe. And you guys are kind of on opposite sides of the crowd. And I feel like there's a female next to you. A very good friend or a cousin next to you. And she kind of notices there's something a little off, but she doesn't say anything. She's a true friend. And that's kind of it. But then I feel, so then that's the initial of the meeting. So I don't feel like anything large happened that night. I'm not seeing it. And again, when I get this, it's kind of images, it's feelings. It's not like a true movie playing in my head. It's just dim. It's not like I'm truly in the vision, but I feel the things and I can see pictures, and a lot of times it's silhouettes, but I can kind of pick up the energy of you and him in that situation. And then here again, so we've got Major Arcana again, and this was the card I pulled for you that was in front of your Devil card. And it's that magic card, and I feel like it's that instant connection, instantly, like maybe, and then he's the full card right here, so it's a 0 card, and this is the 1 card. And a moment ago we had that priestess, that number, 0, 1, and the priestess is 2, so it's like that, just that connection right there, that gravitational pull. And you were expecting this. You were expecting this feeling, this connection almost instantly, but he was not. It was brand new to him. It was like this whole new journey, jumping off point. I feel like there's money involved here, not between the two of you directly, but in this situation that has brought him here. I don't know if it's a job or an investment, but there's some kind of money situation that has brought him here and to this party. And I don't even feel like he was coming to this party directly. The person he was meeting with for money brought him like a guest, like a +1 almost to this party. And I feel like you knew that connection that you had felt with your husband and what you thought that was. You knew that wasn't what you had been waiting for. It had been this. But he just had no idea it was coming. So I feel like that was how the initial meeting situation went. So we'll get these cards and stick them back in here randomly. These ones can go here. Then we'll shuffle and see where else we can go with this. Oh my. Okay. So right there, I've been drawn the card before and after, but here this card was shared right between. So we'll look at that here. Let me get some of this out of the way so we can move these closer. This is the shared card. Oops. Still have these in the screen though. There we go. These were actually both, so these would have been, well no. Here, on the other side. Well, in front of it. Okay. Alright, I promise I know what I'm doing. I just had to think for a minute. So it was kind of cool to see those leading up, and then the initial meeting, those major arcana cards. We didn't pull any this time, but we do have 2 court cards. The 6 of Pentacles, that's what I'm really drawn to, because that is the card that connected the 2 of these. I put them on opposite sides of the deck and they got really close. So I'm seeing 3 people here. I'm not feeling anything today like these are traditional meetings at all. I'm feeling completely drawn to imagery by your spirit guides and telling me the story. And so I'm definitely seeing that person between you. And the person between you, I don't feel like is your husband. I feel like your husband either was trusting or gullible, did not think you would sway, did not think you would do anything else. But and then also there's I don't know the age. Oh, I forget the years you guys were born in this life, but I feel like I'm pretty sure there was the age difference with him being older than you. I didn't notice the husband had his birthday online anywhere, but I feel like that was just something that wasn't noticed. But this third person between you, I feel like as an escort, not an escort, someone who took it upon themselves to be around when the 2 of you were together, kind of separating the 2 of you from being together. Feeling drawn to a female energy, so perhaps that female I felt in the last reading that kind of noticed things outside. And then we have kind of the both of you. I feel like so we've got the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Swords, again with that new energy for him, like the full, like we saw before, just that open, new learning journey energy. But reversed, I feel like we're being told that his sensibility, his rationality, all those kind of things right at that moment were kind of dampened by this whole new experience. of you connecting with him, of you being there for him, and just feeling that connection. I feel like this, again, just like I was feeling with that, with the High Priestess and the Magician, this is you. Like, you're the one offering, you're the one who knows, who basically knows the connection between the two of you, who knows the past, who knows everything that was supposed to happen. Seeing the Sun card again, I'm seeing 3 people here, and I just feel that card just shut out, and that's another major arcana. And so I feel like that is definitely the two of you coming together. I'm feeling like this flower energy, this fertility, this happiness, this maid, mother, and crone, this this connection of all the lifetimes. Suddenly you're feeling both of you were feeling that, and I feel, you know, the pregnancy, and feeling that sexual energy. I do feel like you guys did have a sexual affair, and that came very closely, and it wasn't just a sexual affair. I feel like there was a lot of emotion tied into this, obviously, from some of the cards we've been seeing, and some of the feelings I've been having, but I feel definitely that we have that emotion, that sexual connection. I'm feeling like he's the first one, though, that started to kind of pull away. I'm getting like you were willing to kind of run off and start this life and just leave your old life behind and kind of like run off to the middle of nowhere, maybe like raise animals, farm somewhere with him, go back to roots. And I feel like he was not interested in that. He was very interested in the lifestyle you led, this lavish lifestyle, the money, whatever this money situation that brought him there. And I feel I'm feeling like a jet setting, flying, feeling like, I guess, flying with all these brooms. I didn't think of that before, but the flying back and forth. I'm also feeling like this was a heavier burden for him than it was for you. Like, you were so ready to just walk away from everything and leave everything behind and go to him, basically. But he felt like every time he was flying back to see you, it was kind of like carrying a burden, because he had other things going on in England, or wherever he's from. He had stuff going on, and he wanted to go back there, and kind of move along with his career. And as much as he was attracted to this lifestyle that he was finding with you, this secret kind of hidden lifestyle, I feel like it was kind of having a toll on him, emotionally, possibly even physically, stress-wise. I don't feel like this was see, we have this, it's like, you know, we have the one who has it all, and then the one who's stressing out, and the one who has nothing. And I feel like maybe he had someone left behind in England, and no, not in England, maybe America or England, but he had someone left behind who was waiting for him, maybe another person he was stringing along, and maybe this was some of the burden that he was carrying. But I definitely get a lot of him flying back and forth, flying across the globe, going back and forth to be with both of you. And as much as this connection, as he was wanting to have this, connection with you, and wanting to just kind of run with his heart, run with his feelings, I really feel like he was the one who kept pushing you away, kept saying, no, don't leave your husband, stay here, stay with your family, don't break away from that, don't break your family unit, even though I feel like this family unit was a very, very large extended family. But there was some kind of I keep feeling like a financial connection. So I think you told me you were both actors. Well, I know you were. I think he was, or a tycoon. But I'm feeling that somebody within your family financially backed something of his, a project. That might be worth researching if there's a way to even do that. But I really feel like that is the strongest reason why he just kept pulling away, was this money situation, this career, this choice that he had already made. Not that great lesson that you were making with each passing life, but his current life lesson. He was not interested in completing the life lessons for his soul, for connecting, for completing his soul's purpose. But he's a man who, and I don't know if this is in this lifetime because I'm not drawing from this lifetime, but he's a man who follows, whatever his heart tells him right then, whatever the direction, he feels like in the world he should take, whatever he's pulled to do at the moment, wherever that's drawing him, that's where he's going. So I feel like he pulled back. He definitely pulled back. This was a strong whirlwind relationship. I almost even feel like there may have been an early miscarriage that brought you relief because you worried for a time if this was his or your husband's, though at the time it was the strongest possibility that it was his child. And when you lost that child, I feel that was for both of you. No, not for both. I still feel like you would have left. I still get that feeling that you would have left everything behind in order to follow him. I'm still definitely getting that impression, but I feel like for him, that was a wake-up call. He was not willing to settle down at that point and give up on his dreams. I feel like you were a very strong, independent woman. Perhaps, oh, there goes the card. Hold on. Perhaps ahead of her time, that you wanted more. You wanted more than he was willing to sacrifice, really. Because I feel like if he had sacrificed his career, his financial opportunities for you, either to escape everything and kind of just go live in the middle of nowhere, or to John, hold on, I'm getting another. So I feel there's a lesson right here. There's an answer right here. A final answer. About the final blow, the final moment. But I definitely feel you were willing to give everything up. You could not have been with him and continued to have the life you had. He could not be with you and continue to have the life he had. You were willing to give everything up, but he was not. And sorry if I repeat myself. The words and images just kind of come, and I don't really know what's coming, when it's coming. So the chaos, I feel like in the end it was definitely a bunch of chaos and a to me, okay, and these are the two cards. This was the card from the top, and this was the card that came out. So this is the self-worth. The thing is, in this situation, this chaos and this tornado were so contained because the two of you were really the only ones that knew about this whole connection going on. You did have that close female cousin, friend, sister, somebody who knew, but mostly it was inside you. And I feel like a lot of your self-worth was being questioned by yourself, perhaps by that female who knew some of it, but most of it was just what you knew. And by him continually choosing the industry that he worked in, by continually choosing himself and money over you, even though he was the one to keep trying to end it. And then I feel like he kept being drawn back just by the connection he felt. But I feel like in the very, very end, you were the one who said you were better than that, and you weren't going to keep waiting around for him to come into your life, basically cause this storm of emotions and excitement, and then back away and leave you again, and by yourself, and just in sad depression. There's the Moon card again on the bottom. So we're gonna see. Let's find Justice and the Devil. Justice and the Devil. That should be the name of a band or a TV show, like Smokey and the Bandit. Justice and the Devil. Should I pass them? I don't have my glasses on again. I keep doing that while I'm doing readings. They just don't seem to want to come off. Well, Peter, Paul, and Mary. Here's... Alright, so here... Oh, my. Okay. So again, like I said, we have the Moon card at the bottom. Told me to look one more time. So this is your Devil card. This is you. Here's this card that we had at the very beginning for you. This knowing something was out there and you lost it, essentially at the end of that lifetime. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like financially your life was set. On the outside, everything was beautiful, but on the inside, definitely seeing that turmoil, that mess that was inside of you, from this from falling in love with your husband, then realizing that wasn't the love you've been waiting for, and then not being able to have that love. And then again we have his card, the Justice card, and we have that third person that kept stepping between you guys, and this Ace of Cups, like the beginning of an overflowing adventure. And I kept seeing like a lot of early low numbers for him, or starting of journeys for him. So I feel like even though at the end you guys weren't together and there was definitely that separation, in this case I feel like it was that ocean separating you, I feel like this did change him. This relationship changed him on a level that there was like a deep spiritual, emotional lesson that that he did not realize in that lifetime. But I feel like the connection that you guys had, and then the losing you here, that did cause him to appreciate love when it came around again, and appreciate the gifts that his life had to offer. I don't feel like he if he did marry or anything like that again, I don't feel like, I feel like even he knew it wasn't the same. It wasn't that deep love that he had shared with you for centuries, but that I feel like it was enough for him in that lifetime, because it's I feel losing you was something that taught him, you have to accept that love. So that's kind of sad that you knew. It was just, I think that's just because you had that strong spiritual connection inside of you, is how you knew in that lifetime that that was not the life you were meant to have, or the life not necessarily meant to have, because I don't think we're really meant to have anything. We have all these emotions and free will and decisions that we get to make, but I just feel really sad that in this last lifetime you kind of had this sad ending to this to everything. Like I feel like when you passed away, like this whole lesson, this whole relationship hadn't been far enough in your past that you had healed from it at death. I really feel like you having that connection and knowing that you were searching, that really damaged you. Not damaged, that probably sounded rude. But that really did hurt you. I mean, it did. It hurt you in the long run. Who wouldn't that hurt if you knew someone was meant for you? You knew you'd been with them before, and then they were gone, and they chose money or career over you. That would hurt anyone. And then to him, because I just don't feel like, I feel like your spiritual journey that you're on, is grown over the centuries, has grown leaps and bounds compared to where he is spiritually. And it might be like that newer block, like you were saying, so many lifetimes back, you guys had an issue, and then there was a block between you, and things haven't gone right since. And I feel like maybe that's why each lifetime for him is like starting over again, and why he lives for that lifetime and not for all of his lifetimes. And that's how he was able to, even though I still feel like he thought about you for the rest of his life, and he did possibly carry some, not possibly, I do feel like he did carry some regret. I do feel that in the long run, he was grateful for you and felt that you had taught him this big spiritual, not spiritual, but emotional and loving lesson. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that resonates with you. I hope some of that sounds right. And when you're doing your meditations or past life work, that some of that will begin to awaken other stories inside of you, or not stories, but parts of that life. Like I said, I kept seeing that big screen on the wall at a party. I'm assuming it was like movie premiere, not movie premiere, but not like at a big theater, but it was within their home, so I'm not sure. But it was just like this it was a huge house and a massive screen all over the one wall, and that was like that, and I already feel kind of like everything kind of falling back, like I've been given all the knowledge I'm going to get at this moment, and it's kind of just going back into your records, into your mind. So, but that's kind of a neat feeling. I just really appreciate you. I appreciate you giving me this chance and letting me take some time. I think you put in this order like over a week ago, so I really appreciate you letting me take this time to kind of meditate over this life, because it was really neat to get to really feel the spirit, feel the guides working through me and showing me this information, and just kind of pulling cards out of the deck as I'm sitting here. I hadn't even planned that shuffle and drop towards the end. When I started, it was those 3 cards I was going to keep pulling to get the story, and I feel like when things switched, that wasn't even a conscious decision on my behalf. So I feel like this was all very much your spirit guide directed today, and I really hope this sits well with you. But have a very blessed day.